Well, in addition to announcing that public inquiry, the Prime Minister also said that anybody from Grenfell Tower who needs to be rehoused will be, and close to family members within this area as well. That will be a relief to some of the people who have been gathering to try and help those who have been so afflicted in the last few hours. Let's go to our correspondent Lorna Shaddick, who's at a sports centre where some of those families have been gathering. Lorna.
That's right, I'm at the Westway Sports Centre, and if you've ever driven out of West London, you'll know it's the sports centre whose pitches you can see from the road, basketball and football pitches below the flyover, and at least one of those pitches is now completely covered in donations from the local community of food, clothes and toiletries to help those affected by this fire, which took place just a few blocks away. And in fact, those donations have now spilled out away from the sports centre itself onto this road just nearby, where hundreds of volunteers have turned up to help sort through the many boxes of goods that have been donated to help people who've been displaced or affected by the fire. And many of those volunteers are also quite hungry as well and need feeding. It's just about lunchtime here, and one of those who's turned up to help feed them is Theo, who's a local restaurant owner. Theo, thanks so much for joining us. Just tell us, why did you want to come down today?
Well, as I said, I have a restaurant just up the road, and I grew up around here, so this is our people. So we just knew everyone needed help. People needed feeding and probably were bored of some just cardboard sandwiches, so we thought we'd make a bit of fresh food. And
tell us what you made and when you decided to get mobilised.
So last night we decided we were going to come down today, and we just did what we normally do at the shop. We just brought down here, so we made like 5 or 6 big salads, some chicken, some falafels, some chicken burgers. That's about it, really.
And most of those who've been sort of eating your food are volunteers. What's the atmosphere been like as they've been speaking to you?
Yeah, I mean, everyone looks exhausted, to be honest with you. A lot of people have been here for the last 2 days since the fire happened. But everyone there. It's the siege not the siege mentality. It's the blitz mentality. Everyone's kind of just plugging together, and I don't think really people have had time to think about the ramifications, what happened with the fire, but just get as much food, as much help, as much clothes, as many toys, as many nappies, and all that down here just to help people out.
Indeed, and certainly we've seen huge numbers of clothes, toys, nappies, as Theo said, being donated here, so much so that in fact the police are now turning people away from the Westway Sports Centre and saying they don't have space for any more donations, although people can still, of course, donate their time and come here to try and help sort out many of the goods that have been donated. In the meantime, the Westway Sports Centre held or housed around 40 or 50 people who'd been evacuated from their homes last night, and may indeed need to play host to some of those again, depending on whether or not structural engineers give the go-ahead for people to go back to their houses in the surrounding area near Grenfell Tower after this fire. But in the meantime, some news that we've heard coming into us as well from the City of London Corporation, who have said that out of respect for the victims of the Grenfell Tower fire, they will not be holding the Mansion House dinner tonight. They said their thoughts are focused on the families of those who died.
Lorna, thanks very much indeed. Lorna Shaddick there with some everyday stories of philanthropy. People move to assist as best they can. I mean, the brutal reality, of course, is that as we look at Grenfell Tower, this is from a different vantage position, blackened through most of its length there, starting at the top. And this will be an image which will be visible for weeks, months to come.